Rolling. Rolling. Episodes.
Rolling.
Keep on rolling, 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 rolling.
Rolling.
Episode 4. 11:33. Good time to start, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to episode 5 of Master Keys Soul Connection Podcast. Today, I have a really good friend of mine that I met in Tulum as soon as I landed here, December 2023. This is my brother, Malachi. He has many names. So, brother, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Amazing. Glad to have you here. Malachi, to me, as soon as I met him, I was like, man, who is this man? Like, he does yoga, he meditates, he rides his bicycle. It's like he doesn't age. He's super healthy, he's super loving, he's super kind. I've met him on the dance floor dancing. I see him everywhere. This man knows how to live. If I can ever get to a place where you are in the future, bro, I have lived a blessed, amazing life, and I can't wait to get into the wisdom, the love, the knowledge, the stories that you have, because to be honest, in society, to be completely honest, people your age, not good.
Right.
Yeah. So, Malachi, legal name,
Douglas
Douglas
Earl
Earl
Olson.
Olson. But that's too formal.
And it's also misleading because Olson is a Swedish name, and I am Irish, Italian, and French.
Mm-hmm. And how old are you, brother?
In about a month, a little bit more, I will be turning one more year around the sun, number 77.
77. That was in mind, bro. That's an amazing number. Oh man, amazing, man. Yeah, I met him at a tantra retreat, traditional tantra, to learn the duality of masculine and feminine energy, to understand that we both have these energies inside of ourselves, and the alignment of both is what helps us be in alignment. Malachi, amazing, bro. What do you think is the biggest lesson or the biggest teaching you learned just from that retreat that we had?
Oh, it feels good to move. And it's really my first stretching of the day. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to this woman who was on our retreat. And the number 77 is what made me think of her, because it's in her name. And she does massage and energy work up in Playa. And do you know who I'm talking about?
Intuitive Hands, Lala.
Lala,
we love you.
We love you.
You're amazing. Yes,
And so, just think, before I turn 77, I would love to see you. If you come down to Tulum, at least take you out to dinner. I'd love to get a massage. Anyway, she's amazing, I'm sure. Have you ever gotten a massage from her?
Actually, I did not too long ago, about a month and a half ago, and it was amazing. It's very intuitive. It's not just body work. It's energy, it's senses, it's smells. Yeah, she's amazing. She's in Playa del Carmen, and she has amazing prices that she's worth so much more, but she doesn't do it for the money. She does it to be of service and help people. Like, she's epic. Plugging you in, La.
So,
yeah.
Thinking of you with the number 77, and 77 intuitive hands, right? Mm-hmm. So, I'm feeling really so grateful, and it's one of the things I hear in mentorship a lot. This gratitude is like one of the keys to elevation and higher consciousness and being happy.
Yeah. So the Tantra retreat, what stands out to you the most from there? What's like a lesson that you took from there? Like, because it was a very powerful retreat to me. I still use a lot of things that I learned there. That was like over a year and a half ago.
I do too, and I still love the woman who led that retreat.
Yes, Isabel Froh.
Isabel Froh from Germany.
Amazing teacher.
And a quick backstory is that I met her about a year and a half, I think, earlier on the other coast of Mexico, the Pacific coast in Oaxaca, in Mazunte. Let me see, am I right? I'm thinking of somebody else. Woo, sorry. Come back to the story.
The story. Biggest takeaway lesson from the Tantra retreat.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. The story was I reached out to her after about a year and a half just to say hello, and did she have any more retreats going on? And she said, yes, I'm doing one in December in Tulum, and I would love, 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 love for you to come. And I was like, holy shit, I need to go to Tulum. So that's what happened. Yeah.
Nice. And what takeaways do you have from the retreat? Lessons. What did you learn?
Well, I learned that there's a lot for me to learn. There's a lot of gifts and treasures, gems that are not buried too deep into the study of Tantra, and eye-gazing and being aware of the polarity that you are maybe born with and how you present to the world as being maybe masculine or feminine or masculine, and then we have all these and the fact that, as you said earlier, the energy of male-female exists in all of us.
Yeah, exactly. And learning the balance, at least for me, and our roles. We all have roles. That doesn't make anybody more or less than anybody. It's just like, what role do you play in your life, in your relationship, in your partnership, whether that's romantic, friendship, work. Like, roles are important because it's teamwork. Teamwork makes dream work, right?
It does.
So, brother, you are a person that exudes love. Everybody feels so much love around you. Men, women love hugging you, love being around you, talking to you. You know everybody. I see you everywhere. Let's just talk about love and just go into that however you wish.
It's a beautiful subject, and I have a good friend, Chad, coming to mind. Big, tall dude, like maybe even taller than you, perhaps, vertical lift. Chad Langston, and he's one of the first men friends from years back. Did sort of an ecstatic dance-like experience where I met him. Yeah, it was. No, anyway, blah. He started referring to me, or in conversation or in closing would say, would just look at me and say, I love you. And nobody was saying that to me. None of my friends were saying it to each other. And it really landed deeply in me when Chad said that to me, I love you, and he looked me in the eyes. It's so powerful. And I use him as an inspiration to tell people I love them, which is now coming to me very easily, and I already know that I love them before I even meet them, because why not?
Nice. Yeah. Love.
Love, yeah. Why not love?
Yeah. Okay, well, I can help you out a little bit. Last night, Malachi was kind enough to want to give me a massage, energy healing session. And it's not a normal massage. It's more being present and reacting and being in sync to how the body, that you're working with, like what it's asking for, and yeah, the one thing that came up during that is it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you are present and you're doing it with love, then the healing will be there no matter what. And the power is there, the lesson is there, the connection is there, because you are here present in the moment. You can pay me to be here, to show up to work, but you can't pay me to pay attention. So presence is the most precious gift that you can give anybody. So if that's the most precious gift, why don't you just give it to yourself? But to be kind enough and loving to want to share this with somebody else, that's how we create synergy, chemistry, connection with others. And it was a big help, man. I was able to release emotions that I didn't know were stored, and just felt really cared for and seen in a way that I didn't expect. I didn't even know what to expect, but it was amazing. Thank you.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you would care to put a number on that?
No.
Okay.
Because then that would be judging it.
Okay. All right. No, that's fine. But it was really good for me too. Also, I believe that we are all wounded.
Yeah, we all have trauma.
All of you watching this are wounded, I believe. And you and I and all of us are healers. And many of us, broader brothers and sisters, maybe not listening to this podcast, but don't know that we are wounded, and we don't know that we are healers. Nobody told them. They didn't figure it out. So it's good to give your brothers and sisters the benefit of the doubt. And maybe they don't know something that you know that. And maybe better than telling them what it is, it would be asking them a question that might lead them toward that answer that you think, or them discovering that answer within themselves.
Exactly. That sounds like give a man a fish, he eats tonight. Teach a man a fish, he eats the rest of his life. So we don't have the power to save anybody anyways. And even if you could, why would you? You're taking away the power of them saving themselves.
Right.
But it's just giving them the love and the presence and having that container so that you can heal yourself. And they say healing happens in the presence of a loving witness.
It helps me a lot to have a witness. It helps me a lot to have a little ceremony with the green goddess, Ganja, which I'd like to give thanks to for me feeling some elevation and connection to the plant world with such gratitude and awe.
Let me ask you this: what's a key part of your happiness? Because you're probably one of the happiest guys I've seen.
Reminding myself, and sometimes with a little help from my friends, of my own divinity. And the more that I can love myself, the more I'm able to love myself. And to me, this is already goes quickly back to my favorite mantra, which is, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. The Ho'oponopono, Hawaiian, more broadly Polynesian prayer of forgiveness, reconciliation, gratitude, and love. That combination is miraculous. That combination is miraculous. That combination is miraculous.
3 times, huh?
You want to create miracles? 3 is a powerful number, the beginning of 369 sequence. begins a great spiral of energy.
Interesting, because they say that to make something a habit, it takes 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Do it every day for 30 days and it becomes a habit.
Mm.
Whether the first day you know absolutely nothing, whether it's extremely hard, do it for 30 days and it becomes a habit. It becomes like second nature, like muscle memory. Like this, 77, more flexible than me.
More flexible than
Slightly jealous.
I've ever been.
Dude.
I'm getting more flexible. The story Malakai's been telling himself, why am I so happy? I've been telling myself, yes, I know I'm getting older. Every year I go around the sun and I have a birthday. However, the story is I am getting stronger and I am getting more flexible every year. That was my story. That is my story. And I fucking am. It's not just a story. Stories really do come true. What the fuck? Who knew? Who knew?
I mean, it's like abracadabra.
It is.
The definition of that is, as I say, so I create. And then what do we know about manifestation and creation? Before anything was made, it was once a thought.
Exactly.
How do you think? How do you feel? How do you process? How do you talk to yourself? It's very important.
How do you feel about imagining and living into the more beautiful world where we have learned to stop killing each other as part of the fucking plan? That is the world beyond war. Imagine this with me, please. Imagine this together, shall we? Can we say a collective ho'oponopono for ourselves and for all of our brothers and sisters on this planet, regardless of religion, flags flying at the Capitol building, language? Can we say this together as one God, man, woman? I am sorry, starting at the crown chakra, just above your skull.
I am sorry.
I am sorry. And what are you sorry for? We invite you to sit up straight. If you're sitting, if you want to lie down, this is a perfect time to lay down in Shavasana-like pose. Be comfortable. Take a few breaths together, starting with an exhale. If you could put a sound on your breath.
You know, the first thing that came to mind when you said I'm sorry and what are you sorry for is I'm not sorry to anyone about anything. I'm sorry to myself for not loving myself, for not giving me the time, the space to feel even what's uncomfortable. Because that's where we grow, is in the uncomfortable. Pain is a great teacher, a very powerful teacher, and it demands to be felt. Most of us run away from pain or situations that are uncomfortable, but what are you avoiding? Your own healing, your own teaching, your own evolution. You stay stagnant in comfortability.
Yeah. I've been enjoying getting out of the comfortable, talking about doing a TED Talk and really focusing a lot of time and energy and some financial investment in getting help and moving forward, including AI help with who is Lord Malachi and what is this TED Talk you want to do about?
TED Talk, huh? Well, this is a great warm-up, pre-game podcast talk
Cool.
on Master Keys.
Master Keys. Do you want to say something about Master Keys? Just to give us an overview quick?
Oh, no, man. Thank you for asking that question. Yeah, Master Keys is something that I cultivated. It's my brand. It's not my Master Keys, it's the Master Keys. We all have Master Keys inside of us, but it really takes honest truth within yourself to find them. They're keys of the universe. Like, for example, gratitude is a key of the universe.
Oh.
So is humility and patience. These are keys to the universe, literally master keys to the universe. And in my life, I've had the money, the cars, the things. I played pro basketball and all of these things, but I wasn't happy. And I didn't know why. I had the things, the material things. I wasn't happy. Why? Because internally, I was miserable. So it took a lot of pain and uncomfortable feelings, but the willingness to explore the inner journey, that's where these keys come in. We all have them. They're all inside of us. All the answers that we seek are already inside of you. It's just, can you tune out the noise of the distractions around you and tune in to your higher self? Quiet the mind. Be present. So this is a brand that I started. I have a website for holistic wellness coaching, the alignment of mind, body, and soul. It's literally like therapy and guidance on mental health and emotional well-being. And it also helps that I have my yoga teacher training. I was a physical trainer, so it's all three, mind, body, and soul. And to be in our highest alignment, we need to align the three. One powerful thing that I learned from the tantra retreat where I met you is in tantra, in this Hindu practice, we have the mind, the heart, and our sexual energy. And the sexual energy is our creation. It's not just sex. It's not just intimacy. It's not just, it's creation, it's manifestation, it's energy. Our heart center, love, and our mind to analyze, logic, to think, to process, to create, to expand. But most of us have one really activated, whether it's mind, or whether it's our sexual energy, or the heart. Sometimes maybe two. But when you align all three is when you become full in alignment of your higher self, and then there's less friction in your life and more flow. And I've had taste of these here and there. I'm not perfect. I also have my anxiety and my, not so good days, but coming back to my practices, to my breath work, to my meditation, to my yoga, to my training, to my walking barefoot, and understanding that it's okay not to be okay, but don't run from it, don't avoid it, because then it just takes longer. It's a ticking time bomb. So where's your community? Who can you talk to that can actually listen to you? That's a loving witness, like all of these things. And I've acquired so many practices and learnings and teachings from Hinduism, Buddhism. I have shaman friends, I have coaches, I have it's just so many practices that all help you to align yourself in your specific needs, and it's all personalized. So this is a passion of mine, just sharing conversation with you, whether you're older, younger, man, woman, like we all could use a community or somebody that's good at just listening and not trying to save you or tell you what to do. Is just, okay, this is what you said, this is how I heard it, this is how I see it, this is what I would do. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm sharing my perspective. At the end of the day, you're going to do whatever you want to do anyways. But just listening to the same story you said from a different perspective, or the same problem from a different perspective, can open your eyes to see the world differently. Me and you can have the same experience in two different perceptions. I could love it. You could say I don't like this, you know, but that's the thing. What do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on the darkness or the light? Because trust me, if you go looking for the darkness, you'll find it. If you go looking,
I trust you.
if you go looking for the light, you'll find it. It's just, what are you focusing on?
Yeah. And I understand, I think in the Course in Miracles, I've heard it quoted. I used to own a copy of it, never really read it much, but it's powerful information in there.
Mhm.
It's, that, I think it comes from there anyway, that us, Homo sapien spirit bodies, are more afraid of our light than we are our darkness. We are fucking more afraid of our light than we are our darkness. Contemplate this.
Yeah. Agree 100%. And this reminds me of a movie that I love, Coach Carter. It has that message in there that's super deep that, you know, it's hard to understand at first. He asks this kid, what is your deepest fear, young man? And he doesn't know what to say to him throughout the whole movie until it's towards the end. And he says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. But you don't serve the world, you don't serve yourself by playing small. It does you no good.
True it is, brother.
Take up space. Shine bright. That's why you're here. We all have a gift. We all have a wisdom. We all have a superpower. We all have an energy.
If not multiples.
Yes.
Multiple superpowers.
Several. But what I'm getting at is, it's unique to you. Nobody else in the world has this specific thing. And I believe one of the reasons why we're alive is to share this with the world.
And that's really, I would say, my purpose as Lord Malakai, which, just in case you think I'm not humble enough, the book I'm working on is Making Friends with the Asshole, and I'm kind of the leading person in the book. It's me making friends with myself, and all of us making friends with that part of us that we don't really maybe want to look at. You just call it the shadow self. Making friends with that asshole.
The shadow self. And we think the shadow self is like a bad part of us. No, your shadow actually loves you, and it protects you from the traumas that you've had, from pain, from suffering. It looks out for you, but sometimes we think it's bad because it grew from a pain, from a trauma, and we don't like to feel it because you think of that. But I believe every trauma, every pain, the darkest moments of our lives, if you're able to give it conscious awareness and love and feel into it, feel all these things that back in the day that you didn't have the tools to feel, you go back now into that time to feel it, to process it in a different way. Fear, traumas, the darkest moments end up giving you like a superpower. Like for me, I stuttered 20 years, bro. 20 years of stuttering. And my name is Gabriel, the messenger, right? Okay, so
the stuttering messenger.
Imagine. And I played basketball, couldn't speak to anybody, especially to women. I struggled so much, but it became a master class of learning how to speak a frequency. I've learned, because there's a lot of people that can they're speaking a lot, but they're not saying much. So one thing I've learned is how to say, talk less, but say more. Get right to the point. Cause, yeah, like, I'm not really a fan of small talk, you know?
How's the weather?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The weather is exactly how it is.
Exactly. And with my shirt off and the little breeze, it's wonderful to be here with you.
You make me want to take off my shirt, because we both have a red heart on our chest.
I think it'd be great if you could show us yours.
Okay, all right. You asked
It's
for
a
it.
nice shirt. I mean, hey.
It is hot, though, so that's my...
It is hot.
That's what I'll use as my excuse to show
Some
you
like
guys
it
the
hot
shirt.
as a movie, and maybe a book before that, I guess. You have such beautiful artwork and such a strong masculine type body there, young man.
Bro, if I could look anything like you in the future, I'm blessed. Look at you, chest healthy, spine erect. You could put both of your feet up like I can't even do that.
Yeah, this is actually something I've been working at. I could never do it, especially for any length of time, comfortably, but now I can. It's actually,
Nope.
it's a great place to do push-ups from, and ooh, ouch. It's also
Wow.
nice to.
Jeez. 77.
Ay,
Okay, I'm sure people want to know that are getting up there, maybe 50s, 40s, can barely move, because I've seen it.
yeah.
The first thing, how do you do it?
Well, yoga is part of it. For
Yoga.
me, plant medicine, and my medicine that's pretty readily available these days, still not totally legal everywhere, sadly, is cannabis. And to me, a little ceremony with some good quality sativa or sativa indica blend, just in a ceremony where I'm giving thanks to the Creator, to Pachamama, for the rain and the water and the earth. So I'm really feeling that gratitude is thankfulness and my connection to the plant world and nature and the earth. So it brings me back to that original self, to that person that is as old as time. And when you're connected to source or divinity, it goes forward and back and everywhere, I think. So I think it's that connection, and that's, as a person who offers massage and energy work as we did yesterday, I believe that the greatest gift I have is when I can connect to the divine myself and help whoever I'm working with connect to the divine themselves, and that we're doing that together. We have the energy of yours, mine, ours, and connecting to the one. And that in that place, healing is natural.
It's inevitable.
It's the program it's the program you were born with. You
Yeah.
can just breathe into that, and as I like to put body parts in motion, flesh and bones especially, shaking legs and feet and arms, and we've done some of that. I think that's a little bit unusual. I don't notice other people doing that so much. Was that different than that experience, or do you?
I mean, I also do massage therapy and energy work and alchemizing things. So in my Qigong practice, there's a lot of like shake it off, and then like playing professional basketball for a couple years here, like a lot of stretching. This is before yoga. I already just like, I knew stretching is key. If not, you feel older faster. Stretching is definitely key, and not just stretching, breathing into your stretching, taking your time and feeling the tension without but don't go beyond. Like your body naturally knows, okay, like this is good right here, just breathe, stop, hold it here, and then you start to realize the more you hold it there, and when you inhale, you stay, but when you exhale, you start to notice that you can go a little bit deeper, a little bit further. So breathing is key, breath work, yoga, and meditation for me. These are all three ancient, powerful tools. Like that. And now he's out of the frame. So now I'm here. Hello.
I'll come back. I just wanted to lay on the floor and
Watch out with your back.
open my hips. Thank you.
Yeah. He's just showing off.
Actually, the showing off is, I think, at least partially true. There's
That's
something
okay.
about being on stage or in theater or on camera that appeals to me, that enjoys being seen.
Exactly.
And frankly, a lot of the things that I do with body work and energy, or especially like headstands, lengthy headstands, and which I
love it.
I do.
You can do a headstand?
Oh yeah, I'd be happy to
Later.
Yeah, actually, I've done it only once or twice, like a headstand in a full lotus, where I kind of went off of the couch down and was able to go up into a headstand in a full lotus.
Recently?
No, but I feel like I could do it now. I feel like I'm ready.
I believe you.
No, I'd like to actually do it. But there's something about being seen, having a witness, if you will.
No, it feels
a witness
better.
or a group of witnesses. Like at a theater, you're on stage, you might have 20 witnesses or 2,000 witnesses, and if you're on film and it gets, by any chance, to go viral and get shared around, then a lot of people could see you do whatever it is you did.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that's like almost sports in a different context, because like we all practice and like that's fun too, but it's just way more fun when like everybody's watching you, because the pressure's on, people know what you're doing, and it's not about showing off or whatever you want to call it. Like if you think he's cocky or whatever, we're not here to have everybody like us. We're not here to, care about what people think. That's actually rule number one. It doesn't matter what people think. What matters is how you feel about yourself. So as long as you're happy doing it and sharing your light and your wisdom and taking up space, by all means.
Yeah. I think that taking up space is a big subject, and some people seem to be taking up too much space in my discernment, or for my pleasure sometimes, or they're silencing somebody else that I do want to hear from, was the case at some point when I met this woman and I met this guy, and I couldn't talk to her anymore because he kept talking, and whenever she tried to talk, he would silence her, and it was really weird. And
that awareness.
Yeah.
Mutual, like, the exchange is super important, because if not, it's like you're taking up all the space and there's no exchange, so it's draining.
I find at the end of the night, it turned out he was leaving, she was leaving, and I was leaving. We were like the last 3 people up on this roof party, and I just kind of ran up to them and caught them. I said, "Hey, can I talk to you both for a minute?" And I just wanted to talk about what I just mentioned, and I knew I was stepping into something. Some murky waters, me telling this guy what I thought
confrontation.
About what he, not competition.
No, confrontation.
Confrontation, yes, exactly.
But healthy confrontation.
And I did something I learned in Toastmasters, which was pretty good. If you're going to give somebody like an evaluation, which we learned how to evaluate public speaking, Toastmasters International, check it out, great organization. And so the thing is, if you're going to give somebody a criticism, best to put it in a sandwich. First, tell them something you like about them or something you observed about them, which is what I did do. I started with telling I loved so many things, and frankly, I did love a lot of things about him. He was amazing, really a gift. And then I said, Anne, when you did this and you talked to her about that and how much time you took doing it, blah, 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 that you need to reset. You need to start a new relationship with this person. You need to give her another chance, because it doesn't work. You're shutting her down with more words than she's using. You use more words telling her she should be quiet than she spoke. And it was just like, anyway, I was able to come back to saying something kind and loving. We hugged each other, and he's become a really good friend. So he really appreciated my authenticity.
And see, like, if you were afraid of your light or stepping into what feels true for you, then, like, because of fear is the real cancer. Fear is the real killer. It kills you while you're walking. If you would have let fear get the best of you and not say, "Oh, I'll just keep my mouth shut, it's none of my business." That's what people would normally say, right? But he wouldn't have had that chance to see that within himself, for you to like be a mirror of, "Hey, look, like, yeah, you're amazing. I like this about you." But I noticed that in the conversation that we had with this woman, you were talking over everybody. You never let her speak. I could barely speak. I couldn't even talk to her. You took over completely. And honestly, personally, like if I'm doing something wrong or if I'm out of alignment somewhere, please, by all means, come up to me, challenge me. This is like chess. Like, yes, let's.
Yeah. And and I was wrestling with that. Like, shall I speak over him to interrupt him, interrupting her, interrupting him? You know, like, shall I? And I just listened, but then I was finally, here's my opportunity. And let me talk to both of them together.
I think you handled that perfectly because if you would have talked over him, that's like fighting. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Then I'm creating a confrontation now in front of a group.
yeah, and you're like trying to confront him with the energy that he has.
Like, this is the right way to do this. You're doing it the wrong way.
Exactly.
I
yeah.
know the right way. Listen to me.
No. It's and then when you're put on the spot in front of somebody, it's completely different to when it's like afterwards, more privately. It's more intimate. It's more. I'm trying to connect with you and maybe potentially help you if you even want that. And I feel like we all should always be open to criticism, whether it's good or bad doesn't matter. Does it resonate? Does it make you react?
Humility. You said something about humility. Gratitude and humility.
Gratitude, humility, and patience are keys to the universe.
Yeah, humility is a big one. So to think that you know and to know that you know is starting to get into dangerous territory. Because I always like thinking I know, or even being almost sure that I know. But sure that I know, there's not that much that I'm really sure of. I like, and I'm okay with I'm not so sure. And I like giving somebody the benefit of the doubt. Like if I think maybe they're doing something fucked up, I'd like to have a second thought, but maybe they're doing it, it's just perfect what they're doing right now.
Yeah. There's a story about you that I really love, if you don't mind me sharing. You told me that when you were younger, about 14, 16, that you and your brothers went to Mexico
16, yeah.
to vacation.
Yeah.
And then they were heading back home. It's time to go. And you're like, no, I'm going to stay at 16 years old. But people are terrified now just to come visit. Why? Politics, news. And what is politics? It's an organization that promotes fear.
Crime, organized crime.
Oh, yeah, that sounds familiar.
What does that have anything to do with fear?
Yeah, that is courage. That is a leap of faith. That is you doing what you want to do, choosing the path of most excitement for you at the time, which I believe is how we should be living our life. So that was very inspirational for me to hear that story of you choosing to stay at 16 years old. Nobody, none of your family members or friends here. You don't even speak the language. Tell me a little bit about this, please. Tell them.
Well, it was a trip, firstly, with me and my next elder brother, Michael, who's only a little more than a year, like an Irish twin, like 14 to 15 months older than I am. And then I had 3 older brothers, just lost the eldest a couple of months ago. And so that's been a meaningful transition for me to lose a brother that I've had my entire life of almost 77 years. So that's a big deal. But
16, your story being in
yeah,
Mexico.
what happened? Yeah, so
How was it?
it was tough coming down in the car because we had this old Volvo that didn't have back windows that open and didn't have air conditioning.
In Mexico. Great.
We started on Long Island in New York where we lived, and we drove to Acapulco.
Oh, wow. Okay. Shout out
Across
Acapulco.
the country in this old Volvo that had no air conditioning. The back windows didn't open, and I couldn't drive because I failed my road test. So I'm in the back of the car, always me in the back of the car. Then my next elder brother, Brian, who's like 82, says, hey, I'd like to come along, and I speak Spanish, but I'd like to bring my wife, Joanne, along too. Is that okay? And we're like, yeah, sure. So it became this adventure with 3 brothers and a sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law. And I couldn't drive. Anyway, we were in Acapulco, absolutely loved it. So happy to be there and out of the car, in the water, free. And it was like, okay, it's time to drive back to New York in the car. And I thought, I got to get in the back of the car again and just be hot and uncomfortable. And I just thought, I've got a few $100 in cash. I think I had more money than my elder brothers. Used to deliver newspapers and mow lawns. And
This is how you got this.
worked as that's how come I had money, because I worked and earned it
A
and
couple
saved it.
$100 when he was 16 was a lot of money here.
I had enough extra money that I didn't really need. We were following the guidance of Mexico, and $5 a day was our guidebook.
$5 a day guidebook. That sounds like the days.
Yeah, that was like 50 to 60 years ago. So it was a while back. Born in 1948. So my eldest brother, we called home. It was a big deal to call home. There was no mobile phones back in those days. And he told my dad that I wanted to stay. And he was concerned, being the eldest brother, like, I don't leave my brother in Mexico without talking to mom and dad about this. So they had this nice conversation, and I don't even remember if I talked to my dad or if he just said, if he's happy, just let him stay. My dad was just like,
Wise man.
and it was that simple. I'd like to stay. Okay, stay. And I was on, and they left a little while later, and I was there with my bags and money, and I don't speak Spanish, but I'm ready to go.
But see, that's the thing. That's something that I learned that I find very interesting, because even like, for example, like my parents, when we first moved to the U.S. in '99, they also didn't speak English. And they met a couple that were Croatian Bosnian, and they also didn't speak English. They met in a class to learn how to speak English. But these are some of their best friends. Like, this is like probably my parents' best friends. And they would come over the house, we would go to their house, we would have dinner, and nobody spoke English. We spoke Spanish, they spoke Croatian, Bosnian. How do you communicate? You communicate by using the universal language of being present, of feeling into like what's happening. Like, but it's, do you even want to be present? Can you focus that much on somebody, or are you getting frustrated that it's not English, it's not Spanish, that you don't understand, that it's this and that, whatever? Those are excuses. You can understand. It's like sharing food. Sharing food is a universal language. You don't need to understand me to share food with me. You don't need to understand music to dance to music. Like, I love music from different countries because it's a completely different energy, but you learn to feel into the energy, the frequency, the vibration of what they're giving off.
Absolutely. I had an experience recently in downtown Tulum where I was getting a box for the back of the scooter I'm renting, and I was waiting for them to open, but I guess it was a day they weren't going to open. But I ended up sitting with a drink and sitting with these Mexican men around the plaza, and they were, I think, drinking coffee or whatever, hanging out, whatever they were drinking. And I just sat with them like I was one of them. And the proximity was really powerful. And some guy kept talking to me in Spanish, and I would say, un poquito español. And I don't think he could quite understand that I didn't understand what he was saying. But we were seeing each other, we were hearing each other, and we were present for each other. It was powerful, and it was really quite beautiful. I felt really good about it.
That's the key, presence. And we have so many senses. You can see, you can hear, you can touch, you can smell.
Right.
Like,
there's something I call another language that I speak to give myself a little comfort about saying English. I speak English. I'm an arrogant American because I don't have to learn other languages. Or so is the story, the old story. I just asked ChatGPT to help me with learning Spanish, and she agreed, of course, which is great. Anyway, and the other language I'm thinking about is called NVC, or nonviolent communication. But what it really is, and I really like this about it, is it is compassionate communication.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Nonviolent tells you what it's not. Compassionate communication tells you what it is.
Beautiful.
Right. And it's much better if you can say what something is. And even Marshall Rosenberg, who wrote the book, would prefer to call it compassionate communication. However, he liked the nonviolent movement started by Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So he wanted to connect this language that he wrote a book about and was teaching. He was a psychotherapist, a Jewish Holocaust survivor family, and not so many non-survivors from the Holocaust in his family. And brilliant man. And so that is another language. How can I be compassionate? Do I want to be? And Malik, or Malik, comes from a Sufi name. When I was inducted into the Sufi order many years ago, that is a mystical branch of Islam. One of the most well-known examples of that tradition is a poet by the name of Rumi, who wrote poems in the 14th century that in recent years in the United States, Rumi was 1 year recently the most popular poet in the United States, and he died 500 years ago. So there's something about the heart, connection to the heart. And this symbol that my first and so far only tattoo,
Oh, bam! I got my
represents my heart to me. It's got a star representing the sun and a waxing crescent moon
with
representing
wings.
the moon. And all that heart is connected to wings. And to me, this is a symbol of the Sufi tradition.
That's super interesting, Malachi. Red heart. Moon.
Moon, yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. The moon.
Yeah.
I love the moon because I feel so connected to the sun. I am the sun, so that is the star. I am the sun. The sun is inside of me. The sun is my fire, the light. It's my heart. And the wings, Gabriel. I mean, I love angels, obviously, and they're all over my body. So,
Right.
very interesting
And Malachi
synchronicity.
is an emissary sent by an angel. Malachim in Hebrew, I believe, would be the pronunciation. And it also means king, as does Malik or Malik, and also means angel, Malachi.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So we're both
Haha, what's up, brother?
angelic
Nice to meet you
beings.
again in this lifetime, bro.
Yes.
Look at you. You're so hip.
We did something yesterday, which I haven't done a lot of, but I found it really powerful, was an enlightenment hack hug. At some point, I want to share that more with people because I believe that's a very powerful way to connect and take the energy of all of us. And when you realize that there really is one, that's the hack part of the enlightenment hack hug.
Yeah. And I feel like it's important, and I kind of want to talk about this, to go deeper into we all are one. So this is how I process that. We are all one, but we are all unique as well and different. And what makes us different is our heart. What's in your heart is what differentiates us. It's your energy. And this carries for lifetimes. You come back, different body, but the energy does not lie, and energy does not die.
That rhymes nicely.
Yeah. But we are all one as well because we all come from one creator. We are all human. There's no races. And if you want to go to race, okay, we're all human. That's the race, the human race. So,
Homo sapien.
Homo sapien. So to me, it's like the thought of like, okay, every word you speak, you've ever spoken to, you're talking to yourself. And this goes the same for everybody. And if we are all God, created in his image, know thyself, created in his image. So the closer to get to God is to know yourself, because you are him. You have this energy in you. It's an energy. So if I am him,
You are she.
you are, I am she, I am he, she is he, then that means everyone is God talking to you. But what do you want to pay attention to? What is in your reality? And a friend of mine recently told me, if it's in your reality, whether you're seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, it's there for a reason.
Sounds right to me.
Let's switch it up a little bit. Stretch out the hips. Can I ask you something? This is a question that I ask in like almost every podcast, because I think it's a really powerful question. What's a pain or a trauma or a wound that you had that you turned into wisdom, a gift, a superpower, a strength from your life?
I'm going back to a story I've told recently to some friends that are helping me with trying to help me write a story about who is Malachi and where does he come from and what is his offering, if not master keys, as Lord, my good Lord Gabriel. And the story goes back to when I was 16 years old. I was maybe a year later. Okay, 17 or 18. So it's only a year or two after that guy that got left in Acapulco by his older brothers. And I found myself A1 draft status. The Vietnam conflict, which some people would call a war, was going on. And I wasn't going to college and I wasn't married. So with an A1 draft status, and some of my friends were already coming home dead from Vietnam, it was like the idea of going to war to kill people or somebody to kill me seemed like such a bad idea at the time. I ended up deciding to join the United States Marine Corps Reserve and hopefully would never have to go to Vietnam, which turned out to be true. But I remember feeling so badly about going to boot camp that the plane that I was in, a propeller plane from New York to North Carolina to Parris Island, the famous boot camp, the engine started smoking a little bit on one side, and I was like, oh, well, there's some problem. And then there was some smoke coming from the engines on this side, and I was just like, we were flying near water, and I thought to myself, it would really be great if the plane would crash into the water and I would survive. We would make a nice landing, but I'd get fucked up a little bit, so I couldn't go to boot camp. That's how much I was looking forward to going to Parris Island.
Wow, okay.
So that's a quick backdrop. But the story is, two of my fellow recruits, I think it was like 80 men in this barracks. Anyway, it was a lot of men. And double bunks and stuff. And two of them apparently went missing. I didn't know they went missing, but there turned out to be an investigation after they were discovered. They said they were being abused by the drill instructors. An investigation happened.
Malachi.
And I had to testify.
Bring it back.
Okay, I had to testify in this, what would be a court-martial of the drill instructors. I was the only one willing to testify. We were also threatened, basically, if we got them in trouble by saying things about them that were not flattering about them as drill instructors, that we would be killed by other drill instructors. So anyway, we were threatened severely, and it caused me to have this crisis of, do I speak up and tell the truth and maybe help these two guys that I don't know that left the barracks without permission and were now in big trouble? Or do I tell the truth and get the drill instructors in trouble, and maybe their fellow drill instructors are going to kill me or try to kill me or something because that's what they're threatening. And anyway, I just decided to tell the truth, and that was obviously they didn't kill me, but I was the only one that did that. So it's a story that I think helped me dig into what's really important, and what's true is important, and
Truth.
truth is important.
Truth will set you free.
Yeah.
You're not fooling anybody because you're talking to yourself and you already know the answer. So you lying is you trying to confuse your mind about what you already know. It just adds up more. To me, lying, it takes up so much space in your head that it's hard to process other things because you have that. Whether you believe that or not, it's a fact. It goes in your head.
I had been choked by 2 of the 3 drill instructors, and one of them, I was in my bed and he was choking me, actually broke the skin on my neck. And when I told the story about my experience with the drill instructors that I thought might be breaking the rules, was referring to that, and the guy on the investigation, senior legal person for the Paris Island, looks at my neck and goes, "Oh, I can see these scratches on your neck." So it was like physical evidence of the story. So I didn't say anything about these other guys. I didn't even know who they were. I just knew my own experience. I just said, well, this has happened to me. And other guys, maybe, they didn't choke everybody. So not everybody got choked.
So your pain was being in a position of one being threatened your life, and you already felt the wrath, a little taste of it, to kind of like implant the fear of, hey, we'll really do this to you.
Yeah.
But you told the truth anyways.
Yeah.
So regardless, like, never let fear take over or stop you from doing what you want to do, from speaking your truth, from you being you. To me, fear is the real cancer. Fear makes you a zombie. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever could. Fear is, yeah. Wow. Thank you. That's good. Truth. Yeah, the truth will set you free. Always speak your truth. Don't let fear stop you from doing anything. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that can... This, like, I think Jim Carrey has a story about his dad. He said that Jim Carrey says, and he took over the 90s. He was hilarious. Jim Carrey was amazing, especially for me. He said to him, his dad was the funniest man in the world. And this is Jim Carrey saying this. But as soon as he was born, money problems, fear of not having money, of putting money on the table. Okay, I'm going to settle for this job that I don't like to make money, to make a living. Because it's safety, it's stability for now. And then a couple years later, you get fired from a job that you thought was stable, that was making you money, that you don't even like. Mm-hmm. So if you have the potential to win or lose, why not go for what you like in the first place? Instead of like winning or losing for something that you don't like because it's based off money, which is based off of fear. No. Fear, we have to understand it, feel it. Fear to me is a compass. I'm afraid. Ooh, I'm afraid. Why am I afraid? I don't know. Let's go there. Let's go towards the fear, because let's alchemize that energy into something else, into something better. Because no, I will not let fear take over my life or allow me to live a lifestyle that seems more comfortable, but I'm not happy. That's like when I went skydiving for the first time. That was like a very interesting way of feeling into fear, because I noticed that the time I was afraid the most in skydiving was when you're on the floor, when you're completely safe, when everything's okay and you're in your mind just like running, fear. Well, the worst that could happen. When we got onto the plane, and as soon as we jumped off, it was the most liberating, like, orgasmic feeling I've ever, like, wow. And this is before we even popped the parachute. Just the free fall was my favorite part. I would do it all over again, and I would recommend anybody and everybody to experience skydiving, just so that you can understand fear and how it works in your life differently, because it kills you slowly and you're not even aware of it, or you are, but you push it away because you're afraid of it.
It reminds me of going into the river one night, the Rivanna River. It's like a 10-minute walk from my apartment in Charlottesville. And going down to the river one night, yeah, please, if you want some help. And there was some moonlight, as I recall, but anyway, I went out into the river at night, and I could realize that there was some fear about going into the darkness, like what's in the water, what can I see, I can feel, and I'm by myself. It's just me and the water and the rocks and there was something really empowering about being aware of the fear and going through it and still going out to the middle of the river and getting in the water and just being in that. The courage that it took me to do that by myself. If somebody was with me, I would have felt so much better that, even if it was somebody that I needed to protect, I would have a job and a witness, that difference of being by myself is, and by myself, is there anybody else there? Is there a presence?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I can see that, man. Like, most people are afraid of darkness, whether it's a dark room, going into the lake, the river, the ocean at night. Why? Because you don't know.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what's there, you cannot see.
Right.
But
can you trust every time you put your foot down that something will be there that's not going to bite you or hurt you? Or
can you trust life, that life is working for you, not against you?
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this, and I'm talking to myself. Everything that I've been saying, I'm talking to myself. It's reiterating what I know and what I feel to remind myself of, like, this is the reality that I am choosing. Yeah, man. What do you think in your almost 77 years around the sun cycles is it the key to life?
The key to life.
The key to life, to living a happy life. The key to your life.
Well, I think gratitude, as we've said a couple of times, really just comes to the top. That to be grateful, like if I think things move in spirals, in either a spiral is maybe going down toward darkness or depression, or going up toward light and happy and bright and healthy maybe. And that gratitude can take you, actually, if you're in a spiral where you feel like you're going nowhere or you're going down a little bit, find even one thing that you can be sincerely grateful for. You can change that direction of the spiral, that it just begins to slow down enough to change direction, that it starts going up again. Toward the light, toward the happy.
Amazing.
Gratitude, I think, is the transition.
Amazing. That spiral sounds like the inward journey or the expansion of your journey, up and down. But neither of them is good or bad.
And my understanding from ceremonies with plant medicine is when you enter the spiral, you go counterclockwise. This is the way you come into it. If you're going to get medicine, even if it was right over here, you would go all the way around to it, counterclockwise around the center of the circle.
Interesting. That all goes down to perception, in my opinion, only because, like, in Mayan teachings and with my Mayan teachers and what I've learned, they say that Earth was masculine energy for so long, but in 2000 it changed to feminine energy. And masculine energy goes against the clock, trying to do it your own way, trying to rough it in there. And feminine energy goes with the flow, natural flow. doesn't make one better than the other, one good or bad. It's just like, how do you choose to operate? And like we said at the beginning, we both have masculine and feminine energies within us. So there's times we're going in or we're going left, there's times we're going right. But it both lead you to your highest power, especially if you're searching for it or feeling into it or aligning with it. And what I've noticed is that even if you aren't searching for it or trying to find it, if you're not conscious and you're more subconscious, you still are going in that direction because life is working for you always. It's just, what do you want to pay attention to? What I'm not having, what didn't work out, what I couldn't have, or what I do have, and what is good. And the light or the dark. You look for the light, you'll find it. You look for the dark, you'll find it. They're both there.
Yes, indeed. When you have light, if there's anything interfering with the light at all, you have shadow, because if it stops the light, there's got to be a shadow that's created somewhere.
And one thing about this world is, this life, everything has a duality. Inhale, exhale, dark, light, winter, summer, hot, cold, day, night, love, pain. But how could you know what love is if you never experienced pain? How could you see the light if you don't know what darkness is? Darkness is where the light comes in. But imagine if everything was light, what's the point? You can't even see anything. It's all bright.
Cracks, they say cracks is where the light comes in. To allow the light in, you need some cracks in the container that the light can come through.
And happiness, sadness, like how can you really appreciate the moments of joy if you've never felt sadness? Ask millionaires. They have everything. Ask them how much they struggle to be happier, what it takes for them. Like, Will Smith talked in a podcast recently about, like, some people get to a point where you have anything you can ever want. You have so much money that you can go anywhere in the world, eat anything, buy anything, have anything, women, men, whatever. You have it all. So then now, because it's all there, it doesn't make you happy because it's like normal. So then the only thing left is the inward journey. Getting to know yourself, loving yourself, aligning with yourself. This is the master keys, in my opinion, to living a life you enjoy. There's farmers, there's people that clean houses for a living that are extremely happy.
Yeah.
And then there's millionaires that are miserable. It's just how you want to see life. What do you think, Malachi? How do you want to wrap this up?
Well, that's probably a good place to go. I think I'd like to take a few more minutes. I started the Ho'oponopono meditation journey from your head to your heart, and I didn't get past the crown chakra on the way to the heart.
We can do them all right now.
So,
Take over, my friend.
I encourage you to take this journey with me. And again, I'm inviting you to lie down or to sit up straight, with your shoulders back and your chest open and your heart open. Allow your eyes to close if you're comfortable with that. So your crown chakra, we're going to start with I am sorry. And this is a Ho'oponopono. I'm inviting you and leading you to give to yourself as a gift on your journey from your head to your heart. I will go on this journey with you from my head to my heart. as we make a deposit in the one heart that belongs to all of us. As we purify and as we clean our own hearts and souls with this prayer. What are you sorry for? What are your regrets? Can you feel the regrets that come to the top for you? Whatever they are, we all have them. Could be regrets about things that you did that you really wish you had not done, that were harmful to another, or didn't work out the way you had hoped. Can you forgive yourself? Can you feel, well, that's actually the next step. Staying with the regrets, I'm sorry, what is it that you're sorry for? And can you feel that regret, maybe some sadness? And it may be something you wish you had done that you didn't do. Maybe you thought of doing it, but for whatever reason, you did not take the action. And had you taken that action, things might have worked out very differently, which you don't really know if you didn't take the action. And it may be something you wish you had said that you thought of saying, but you didn't say. Can you forgive all that? Or can you feel all that sorrow? And then we're going to be moving from that crown chakra and the I am sorry part of the Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono, by the way, means, literally the translation is to make things right doubly right. This is a miraculous prayer. See if you can create a miracle for yourself right now together. And if not, this is something I'm encouraging you to repeat daily at least one time. Ideally looking in the mirror where you can gaze into the windows of your own soul. You can even, if you have a smartphone, you can even put it on selfie mode and look right into your own eyes, as almost as if it's a mirror. But now if you could just imagine that, and moving to your third eye, center of your forehead above your eyes, pituitary gland, very powerful center. And in this center we say to ourselves, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And since you are offering this prayer to yourself, but still, I think it's really humble and wise of us to ask ourselves for forgiveness. And for some of us, forgiveness does not come easy. Some of our regrets are huge. It may have been life-ending for somebody else that you love and care about. And it's hard to forgive ourselves something that has such dire consequences for another. And if it's not something you can do today, then if you can revisit this every day for the next 3, better yet 4 weeks, you can start a new habit of self-love and self-forgiveness that can be miraculous for you. And when miracles come for you in a way that has to do with love and forgiveness, which this does, it can't help but ripple out and affect those around you. Your close friends, a significant other, a child, a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a cousin. Let your love ripple out. And back to the journey, we're moving from this forgiveness, which you may need to work at, play with. I encourage you to play with it as much as you work with it. And it's okay to cry about your regrets. Tears are good. It's like a orgasm for your eyes. It's actually very good for your eyes. It's almost like eye drops. Like your eyes know how to make those drops. It's called crying. And crying for your regrets is a beautiful thing. I hope you were able to forgive yourself of everything. Moving on to your throat chakra with gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Gracias, gracias, gracias.
De nada.
And finally, we end our journey in the heart, the center of your heart, with I love you. I love you. I love you exactly the way you are now.
Thank you, Malakai. Always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you.
Well, that was episode 5 of Master Keys Soul Connection Podcast. I'm your host and holistic wellness coach, therapist, whatever. It's just names and titles. I'm a human being that loves to give love back and hold space for people so that they can heal themselves, just like Malakai in his own way.
Yes, very much.
And
very different and just like.
Yeah. Retreats coming up soon. More coaching and sessions and practices and sharing wisdom. This is what is fun for me. This is what I enjoy the most, is sharing wisdom with people, sharing wisdom with the world, so that we can help lift each other up one day at a time, one step at a time. Baby steps are actually huge. Huge.
Oh.
Just think about trying to climb a ladder that has steps that are so far apart because they're so big. It's harder than if you just go baby steps. You get there. The fastest way to get to where you want to go is slowly. Because a lot of people are in a hurry to get absolutely nowhere.
That's one of the reasons reflective listening is so powerful. It's like you tell somebody what you heard them say and you think, how could you slow down the conversation anymore? You're repeating what somebody just said. Turns out that is the fastest way forward.
Exactly.
Because when you talk and I talk and we're talking over each other, nobody's really listening. Nobody.
Something I heard is, we listen not to reply, but to understand.
Ideally.
Yeah.
If we're really listening.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
It's been a pleasure to be here with you. I'm delighted to meet any of you for the first time, and wonderful to be with you again for those that I already know, and looking forward to more love, more connection. And my passion is to offer this meditation prayer and to be a midwife to that more beautiful world that I'd love for you to imagine with me, where we have moved into a world beyond war together.
I agree. And just a little plug, we're in Tulum at Holistica, one of our favorite places. It's a hotel, it's a restaurant, they have everything here. This is like my office from time to time. It's a treehouse, believe it or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see you are home. Where is that? Right here. Right there.
Thanks for being home with us.
Catch you next time. Peace.